guys, so it's November 1st and I wanted to post on Halloween a video about Halloween, its origins, traditions, and relation to other cultures around the world. I didn't manage that, so I'm recording this now and I hope I will upload it right after I'm finished with talking. So, Halloween has origins in Celtic culture, but also in other cultures. I will explain that later as I'm talking. So, in pre-Christian era, Celts lived in Ireland, United Kingdom, and in northern France, and they had they celebrated end of harvest season, which was on October 31st, and that day was also celebrated as end of old year and beginning of the new year in Celtic tradition. It was also celebrated that way as end of one and beginning of the next year in many other uh, in many other cultures, not just Celtic. They also believed that on that day the barrier or the bridge, or however to call that, between the world of living, world of humans, and the world of death, or world of ghosts, spirits, demons, fairies, and all other, is the thinnest in the year, and that spirits, both good and evil spirits, were walking the earth that day. So in their tradition, they wore masks and costumes from animal skins, so that those evil ghosts couldn't recognize them, and they carved pumpkins, scary faces in pumpkins, to scare away ghosts. Also, they made a big bonfire and they talked stories around that fire. They were scaring away the evil ghosts, praying for the souls of their dead ones, of their relatives, fortune telling, and so on. They were just celebrating that end of harvest and the beginning of the new year, and the souls of their ancestors beside the fire. They called it Samhain, but it is written like this as Samhain. Later, in 43rd year of, well, in the 43rd year of, well, today's counting of years from birth of Christ and so on, Christians began to conquer regions where Celts were living, and they were trying to convert them from their religion to Christian religion. Then later, in 7th century, Christians took some of the Celtic traditions into and mixed them into Christian ones in attempt to convert Celts into Christianity, to convert other cultures into their side, to have more followers. Pope Gregory the first was the one who was the first one to try that, and then in 609 All Saints' Day, which was until then celebrated on 13th May, and followed by All Souls' Day, which was celebrated on 14th of May. In Serbian, those are called Svih Svetih, All Saints' Day, and Zadušnice, All Souls' Day. They were moved to be celebrated on 1st and 2nd November. You can guess why. So that they can try lure, or, well, not to use that word, to try convert others from celebrating Halloween, actually Samhain, to celebrating Christian traditions, the thing is, All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day were celebrating, but remembering the dead ones. It was almost the same thing as the Samhain, the Celtic thing. Also, the Dia de los Muertos, which is celebrated in Latin-speaking countries, well, let's say Mexico, for example. That one is celebrated on 1st November. All those holidays are the same thing. They just have a bit different customs, traditions, and they are named differently, because they are from different cultures, different languages, and so on. But they celebrate the same thing when you look at it better. In 8th century, in the year 731, All Saints' Day is officially moved to November 1st, and May 13th is no more All Saints' Day, is not celebrated as All Saints' Day since that year. All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day were called All Hallows, and All Saints' Day was called Hallowmas. Hallow meant holy or saint in that time. And 31st of October was called All Hallows' Eve, which turned into Halloween over the time. In 1820 to 1870, there were a lot of Irish immigrants who went to USA because of some potato famine. I'm not sure what is it, but it's probably some disease related to potatoes, not sure. Well, in those years, over 7.5 million Irish immigrants came to USA, and they brought Halloween with them. All of the customs of Halloween, which is masking into scary things, carving pumpkins. In the Middle Ages, there were even potatoes were even carved together with pumpkins to scare away ghosts, evil spirits. Then one of the customs was also hunting apples from the barrel full of water with only your mouth. Maybe you saw that, maybe you do that, maybe not. I don't know how often is that practiced, but it's one of the Halloween customs. In 1920, first ever official Halloween celebration in USA was in Minnesota, in Anoka. Anoka. There was celebration and a bonfire. Trick-or-treating started with practice in 1927. And the greeting trick-or-treat was used as official greeting in that season since then. So that would be most of the things about the history of it. Also, orange and black colors. Orange and black are colors of Halloween since Celtic times. Orange symbolizes crops, harvest, autumn, and black symbolizes the death of summer. Because, harvest is over, summer is over, and begins autumn and winter, and also begins the new cycle of life, new year, new Celtic year, new year because harvest. Okay, I'm a little bit lost there. Doesn't matter. Well, in England, there was a tradition called sowing. Children would go round to the houses early or late on All Saints' Day and sing songs, and they were awarded with soul cakes. That was a special sort of bread that was specially made for that celebration, for that day. Also, Halloween or Samhain or however you call it, it has a relation with other cultures as well. It's not only Celtic thing, it's also a global thing. All of the old cultures, old civilizations had had a lot of similar traditions, celebrating harvest, celebrating beginning of the new year, which was happening usually in autumn by our on at the end of harvest, and cult of respecting the dead. It's present even in Serbian culture, masking and scary things, wearing, well, all the South Slavic culture, all the South Slavs in the past had a thing called koledari. They were that koleda that was practiced around this time of the year, and people would, a group of young men was led with older men, and they were dressed up as animals or horse, bear, and so on, and were, well, they were mimicking a bit inappropriate scenes with wishing to wish a fertile year and to scare away the evil ghost as well. Similar things are present even in Italian culture, Portuguese culture, Japanese culture, Mexican, all around the world. All the cultures, all the people in the world were since always were fascinated with death and with the afterlife, and it has nothing with blasphemy and nothing to do with the devil. Yes, many cultures were polytheistic, but that doesn't mean that they are blasphemous. If they have gods, then they are not blasphemous. And a lot of Christians mix up paganism and Satanism. Those two are like melons and pears. They are nothing alike. Satanists do worship devil. Paganists don't worship devil. You will not see any mention of devil in the paganistic religions, in old Slavic religion and so on. They are scaring away the evil spirits, I don't know how is that blasphemous or devil worshipping to someone. I don't know how that makes sense. Also, it's nothing to be ashamed of to have traces of paganism in your Christian religion. It's nothing bad. It's just how the way it is. All the modern religions are mix of many old religions, old traditions, and that's just how they evolved over the time, over the centuries. Also, whichever holiday you celebrate or you don't celebrate anything, be kind to each other. Don't spit on other religions just because they practice some holiday differently than you, or just because you don't believe in something they do. That's rude, that's uncultured, that's ugly, that's not nice at all. Every religion says be nice to each other, but I don't see that. Everyone seems to be spiteful to Halloween just because it turned into mask and ball, into ball under masks after centuries, because it has well, in Serbia it has nothing to do with giving respect to death. In Serbia it's just a party with a scary theme party, and I don't know why are people against others having fun. People are fast to judge others because others are different, because others are not you. Well, you wouldn't like others to judge you because you're a, I don't know, Christian, Buddhist, or because you're blonde or something. And I know it's in human nature to be uh, rude to others that are different, to be rude to something that you don't understand, but we should be about that. We should be kinder. Kindness is something you learn. I don't celebrate anything at this time. I just want to wish everyone happy whatever you're celebrating, if it's Sveti Luka, if it's Samhain, Halloween, Noć veštica, Dia de los Muertos, svih svetih, zadušnice, dušički, vših svatih, whichever holiday, whichever thing you are remembering now, have a nice time. Don't be rude to others, don't be rude to others from other religions, cultures, and so on. We should be kinder to each other. Being rude or spitting on someone else's holidays or practices won't help you. It won't make you a better human. So I hope everyone has a nice time, great time, and see you someday later in some other video, and there will be more things to talk about, of course.